Okay, Chair, we are live.
Thank you, Gemma. Okay, welcome to the second part of the meeting to approve the annual report. And this is a public session. So, apologies, please, Gemma.
You have apologies from committee members Councillor Adam Kennelly and Councillor Corinna Kenyon-Wade, and also from Trish Fretton and Officer Marie Thomas. Apologies.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Item 6, I know we don't want, but as it is in the second meeting, the public session, declaration of interest. I'll declare I'm a member of the Parish Pension Fund.
Chair,
Likewise, Chair.
Councillor Hugh, I'm the same.
Councillor Arwell, seems. That's it really, isn't it? There's no other declaration. No, that's it. Lovely. I haven't got you all on the top. I've lost you all on my view. I've got you all different from view from last time. But okay, item 7. For the committee to review and accept the minutes of a meeting on the 3rd of September. They've been circulating. Can I have everybody happy? If I can have a proposal. Thank you, Arrow. Proposer. Seconder, please. Thank you, Hugh. Everybody happy? Lovely. Okay, then. Thank you very much. I can sign them. Oh, I'll sign them sometime. But okay. Item 8, pension board minutes. I don't know if Davy wants to go through them.
Happy to do so quickly, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Just to note that the subsequent, this is a long time ago, July. I think, yeah, ordinarily we'd have had another board meeting in the interim, but the subsequent meeting was deferred from the 14th of October now until 9th of December regarding various availability issues. So, yeah, so we looked at the committee minutes, lots of recruitment, fits for the future, which we've already discussed this morning in the private session, equity protection. We looked at the cash flow negative position there, and of course, if contributions come down, then the tipping point for cash flow negative becomes close.
Yeah.
Discussed that McLeod as well, dashboards, the valuation generally, steps being taken to strengthen the team, which we've already discussed, the 3 new posts, and yeah, modernising communications as well as governance and systems, etc. So we discussed WPP, the usual updates with Project Snowdon, and the yeah, the WPP stuff, and discussed. It's quite interesting because the board chairs met with, I think Jane or Chris was on the call last week with Burgess Salmon, the legal advisors, and we had the question of the independence of advice, whether Burgess Salmon are advising the authorities or the new company, whether it is at the moment there's a sort of a convergence of what we want out of this, but they confirmed last week that they're advising us as its administering authorities if there is any difference of opinion there. We went to the risk register and the administrative pillar in particular. We discussed the conflicts of interest policy for review and agreed the policy as amended was appropriate and relevant. Future board meetings, I mentioned, has been deferred till the 9th of December. And yeah, we had a go through performance measurements. So it was quite a full meeting in July. And the minutes there are very detailed, so they're there for you to pick over should you wish, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Dallas. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's
a lot going on everywhere, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then. Thank you very much. Item 9, Chair's announcements. I've been here, there, and everywhere. It's been quite a busy time. I think in October, myself and Chris went to a WPP Managers Day in London, which was very interesting, organised by Waystone and Russell. It was a really good session. Yeah, very good. I thank them for doing that. Last week, or was it last week? Yeah, a week ago. A few of us went. Karina, myself, Chris, Arwell, and David went to Bailey Gifford in Edinburgh conference. It was very interesting, enlightening of what is going on in the world. It was very, well, yeah, I really enjoyed myself. Very, very interesting. It's JGC next week. WP JGC meeting next week, and also 2 weeks ago was it? We met myself, Jane, Chris, Dan, Arwell as my vice chair, and myself met Rob Lamb in County Hall. He came to introduce himself, which is what his vision of the IMCO will be, and had we any concerns and asked questions, which is very good of Rob. Which also we're meeting Rob next Wednesday, I think, when it's open to the committee for the members on the shareholder agreement. This is there's going to be 8 shareholders, there's 8 authorities, and we'll all be equal shareholders. This is trying to get all our ducks in line. Really, it's just it's a lot of work to get this right. So I think if you can join us next Wednesday, be good members. Thank you. That really I think that really concludes, and we can move on to item number 10, pension fund annual report, and over to Dan. Where's Dan? Oh, there he is, top left.
Thanks, Chair. I'm just, if I could quickly just jump in, if that's okay. I will hand over to Dan to take you through this report. But I thought it was important to just acknowledge the amount of work that goes into producing this document. So I'd like to publicly thank Dan and his colleagues and my colleagues in the administration team for helping to produce this rather hefty document, as I'm sure you've seen. So I'm very grateful for Dan's support and the work that he's put in to get it to where we are today, and hopefully looking for approval. So thank you, Dan and colleagues. I'll hand over to Dan for the rest of the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Chris, and good morning, all. As Chris mentioned, today we're going to look to ask committee for approval for the pension fund annual report for 2024 and 25. If the approved report, if it is approved, we will publish by the 1st of December deadline. Included in the report, and it's pages 100 to 133 of the pack, are the audited pension fund accounts. Now, these are taken to the Governance and Audit Committee for approval in line with existing delegations. And we met with them on the 23rd of October, and they approved the accounts in line with Audit Wales representations, whereby they were providing unqualified accounts, an opinion of the accounts. And in respect to the rest of the report, they commented that it was consistent with the financial statements that were approved. It should be highlighted, though, within that audit report, that there was one uncorrected misstatement within the accounts, and this was in relation to an overstatement of a private equity value of 1.1 million. The amount falls below the materiality value of the threshold of the accounts, which was 8.6 million, and due to the nature of private equity valuations, where they provide unaudited figures, which can be subject to change, the impact of this overstatement will be picked up in 25-26, and it was felt this amount would not impact the view of the reader. The draft annual report was presented to this committee on the 3rd of September. Since that date, AVC values have been included into Note 16, which form part of the accounts, and these were not available at the time of the draft. So that is pretty much the only change. The report follows the guidelines issued by the Scheme Advisory Board, which is devised to allow consistent reporting across funds. As Chris has mentioned, a lot of work goes into these accounts, the administration side input an awful lot as well. We have the chairman's statement, the chairman of the board as well. Also, we get information from our performance managers, Hymans, and also WPP feed in as well. So I'm happy to take any questions. As I say, there's only been minimal changes since the draft report came to you on the 3rd of September.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Any questions? Well, lot to read. But no, just thank you for all your work. Errol.
Well, no, well, as you say, I've gone through it. I'm I would say I couldn't believe it, but I'm quite surprised, if you like, that the rate of return was only 3.9 for last year. Because okay, the previous year was 7.5, and okay, the benchmark's 5.5, but obviously, but yeah, it is what it is, I take it.
Yeah, perhaps I can just add to that as well. Yeah, it's important to remember this is the 24-25 years year, and we have seen some significant movements in the market since this first 6 months. We do review performance each quarter, the committee, as you'll be aware. We do also review it above that, the WPP quarterly as well. So Russell do present to the Joint Governance Committee at every meeting on the performance. But yes, you're right. Performance, we are hoping, if things continue in the 25-26 year, to see a big improvement in that as well. It's with investment performance. It's you have to think of it as two coins, as I know you do, but there's the risk side of it attached to it as well, isn't there? So the risk profile might be different. So if we compare in like for like, it's very difficult to do that, I think, in terms of investment performance. So completely take your point.
No, it was just a comment, really. I was surprised it's so low, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have got a few other things, really. I don't know if, well, just
Go on.
one clarification, really. I think was it page 18, it said 89.4% of the contributions was received in a timely manner. Don't we get contributions sort of on time off other people, or what's?
Yeah, so I'll just expand on that a little bit. So essentially, this is talking about the contributions received from employers who have to submit them within 19 days of the date they were deducted. What you'll probably find is the majority of that remaining 11% or 10.6%, whatever it was, is because they came in a day late.
Oh, right, only
so
much. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's when you record it as a number, it might not appear as cleanly as it could do, but it's simply because they missed that 19-day cutoff. If there is an issue of contributions not being returned or for whatever reason, we've got process in line with finance and now the employer person within our team to get onto that straight away to chase it up with the employers. But it'll be to do with timing issues.
Okay. And the other one, yeah, the employers' contributions, big variance rate from 13.3 up to 28.2%. Is that sort of, a higher contribution as part of a package, is it? Or
It's the contribution rate set for each individual employer, so it will depend on each individual employer's funding level as to the contributions that they need to set. We do have some systems in place where we group some of the smaller employers together to try and smooth contribution setting for them, but primarily down to each individual employer's standing when it comes to funding
so
levels.
they could put more pension and less salary sort of thing, maybe.
Not necessarily. It could be just simply because they're in a better funded position. They haven't had any deficit contributions to pay, so the contribution rate overall appears less. Age profile, they could have a really young scheme member, and they tend to be cheaper than the more expensive ones, bigger salaries, etc. So I don't have the direct definitive answer for you today, but it is set for each individual employer with the actuary in line with the funding needs and the profile of that each individual employer. But yes, there's a big range.
Yeah, thank you. Then just going on now, then the number of retirements, so 360 for the 12 months, which equates to about 2%. Is that normal or is that low for a year, or depending again probably on the age profile?
Well, yes, it does depend on the age profile, and I think as we're seeing, I think the council might be seeing that the age profile might be moving in that direction. Obviously, as that happens, we'll see more retirements appear. I haven't got the numbers in front of me to compare to previous years. However, I do think. And this touches on a comment that the chair of the board made earlier in terms of the Scheme Advisory Board annual return numbers. I think we are seeing an increase in the number of retirements, and it's likely to do with age profile, I think. Yeah. But I haven't got last year's to compare against, I'm afraid.
No, I was just, and then my last one was towards the end of the report. It said that on average, we've got 1,521 members per member of staff.
Yeah.
How does that compare with other authorities?
In the middle, I think. It used to be, we used to benchmark, this is going back a few years now, it was 1,000 scheme members per admin staff.
Right.
We've pushed that out to about 1,500 or so now, I think. Some funds have more per admin team, but that might be because they've seen greater efficiencies of scale and whatnot. We conducted a review in 2024, and we think we landed on the right number for the Powys Fund. So 1,500 is there or thereabouts in terms of our administration of scheme members per team member. We're hoping to be able to see that increase as we take on board technology. We've just appointed systems officers. If they can maximise the use of technology and efficiencies within the admin systems, we might see that number creep up, which will obviously be beneficial because we can then focus the team on other work such as backlogs and McLeod work as well. So
Yeah, well, this is why
Yeah.
the question really, because obviously, given what we've heard today, really, what we need to do probably in the next sort of 2 years or less, is there going to be a big pressure on members and staff, really. But
And that's a fair comment. If you remember back to when committee approved the additional resource back in October 23, it might have been now, actually, as time goes. 24, October 24 it was. The agreement was, let's get these in place now and review it. So I think the fact that we're starting the 26th year with near enough all the places filled in the team, we'll have a period then to be able to review and assess against these new expectations placed on us. So we think we're getting towards the right numbers, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it because as the chair of the board identified earlier on.
okay. Perfect. Thank you for that, Chris.
Thanks, Errol.
That concludes my
Oh,
questions.
Thank you.
thanks, Errol. David.
Yeah, just thanks to Chris and Dan for the report. And I noticed the auditor's certification is there on page 133 of the pack, page 53 of the document. Is there a separate audit report, Dan, on the with recommendations, etc., or is this it, just the certificate?
It is, for the report, it is just a certificate. As I say, it is being consistent with the accounts, and that's all they name. But within the accounts that went, there is a separate audit report where they list. There was no future recommendation, so that was good. It was a fairly clean audit. As I mentioned, the AVCs were on there as an item that needed to be adjusted. There was also one other adjustment around values in a couple of the tables. I think it was the investment table in note 13, whereby we'd included brackets and we shouldn't have done so, as one of terms of minor amendments, and then also that uncorrected misstatement. But otherwise, yeah, it was a fairly clean audit. But I'm happy to circulate that report if you'd like to see it. Or whether it should come to this meeting in future, I'd be quite happy to share that.
I'm not sure what the general practice is. Does that go to your audit committee or somewhere?
Yeah, that goes to Governance and Audit Committee for approval of the accounts. I think it's a legacy really of the old procedure where the accounts needed to go or were included in the council's accounts.
Okay.
So whether
no, I haven't got any strong feelings on it, but perhaps that report could come here for information, even though probably the audit committee is the place delegated to receive it as an authority. I think in Wales we've had the pension fund accounts audited separately from the council's accounts for 10 years or so, and it does cost a bit more. It used to be about 25,000 or something for the separate audit. But England are just catching up on this as well, like pensions for councillors. The English authorities are going to have separate accounts for their pension funds, which they haven't had before. That's part of the new governance as well. Just picking up the item we had earlier and joining the dots, really. Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Thanks, David. Jane.
It was just to say that those documents are published on our public website anyway on the date of the Governance and Audit Committee, so they are there available if members want to go and have a look at them.
Okay, yeah. It's always been the one that goes to audit, doesn't come to us, and it's always been. Okay then, any more questions?
Can I just give an observation? We now have more pensioners than contributors in the scheme.
Correct. Yes. That's it's a nature of the local government pension scheme, Councillor Hugh, that our fund is maturing essentially. So this was part of the thinking behind the cash flow management process that we built into the fund 12 months ago or so. We knew our age profile is moving that way, and we're getting to a tipping point in terms of the maturity of the fund, where, as you see, less active members and potentially if contribution rates go down, less money is coming into the fund by employer contributions. We have to adjust strategy to make sure we have enough income to pay benefits as and when they fall. So not uncommon we're in the middle of the pack when it comes to maturity of the fund, I think.
Okay.
So it's just the nature of the way the fund works.
Does that have any implication for contributions and things like that from the members and perhaps from the authority?
Well, it does, because pension benefits cost. So yes,
Yeah.
when the actuary assesses an employer, they'll factor in how many pensioners they've got, when are people likely to tip over into pensions from active and whatnot, and they factor all that into expected contributions and whatnot. So yes, they do. It is considered.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Being packed there. It is the way things are at the moment, isn't it? Okay, any more questions? No, so to consider, need a proposal sector to consider. We're not approving the report, just to consider it. It's
No, we need approval today, please, Chair.
approval just says consider here on the thing. I just thought it should. So can I propose and seconder, please?
Chair,
Hugh, or is that a question?
no, I was just going to say, I think it should be noted that the work has gone into this document.
Yeah,
I think the officers should be recognised for that. This is an excellent document. I look at it now and again because it's got information that perhaps you take for granted, but I need to swat up, and it is good. I would suggest so. I'm sure Arwell would want to propose it because he did, but I'm willing to second it if it has been.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to propose. Yeah.
Propose, seconder. Everybody in favour? Where's David? David's there. Yeah, right, all happy.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much. And I'd like to just reiterate what Hugh has said. It's a good report. It's legible. It's quite easy. I don't say easy reading, but it's easier to. It's understandable.
All by the chairman's statement, is it? Or not?
It's always the best part. I think that's why people have
All
it.
right.
But if we don't put a picture of me there, yeah.
We'll take all comments on board, Chair, and we'll think about it for next time.
The one they put on the WPP one, it looks like I'm my professor. My hair's, I needed a haircut.
Convict, was it?
Oh, Dan, did you want to say something? Can you just pass on the thanks to the whole team, Chris and Dan, please?
Yes.
Will do. Yeah. Thank you.
Dan, do you want to say something?
Yeah, only around next year's report, really. It was brought up in Governance and Audit Committee around there's a new financial system coming into being from the 1st of April 2026, which won't impact really the 25-26 accounts, but obviously the next year will need to be run from that system. But what it will impact is the old system will be going from July 2026, which will make some of the auditing or getting of the evidence more difficult next year. So we're currently working with audit just to see if they can free up some resources so we can have an earlier audit, or they can do some more sample testing earlier in the year. And we're looking at timelines really to see if we can make improvements this end around closing earlier, which does sometimes make things difficult with the more private market funds that you've got, because there's obviously a bit of a lag with their valuations, and some of that leads into what Arwell was saying earlier around the performance. Some of their performance is lagged going into future years, but it's just to raise that really, and it was a point that Governance and Audit Committee were also wanted to follow up, and I think we are required to provide to them timelines of the closing timetable from early January and any risks of non-compliance, really.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Thanks very much. So that's it. That concludes the meeting. Thank you very much for joining us. See you next. On the 8th.
5th.
5th. Oh, God.
Yeah.
5th. I know so much
I
going
was
on.
so
isn't there?
maybe-
Oh yeah, there's a meeting. Yeah, and Rob Lamb. Yeah, that's next Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got the 3rd
Yes.
in terms of meeting the IMCO. We've got the 5th for the actual next pension committee meeting, and then you got the JGC on the 8th. Then,
Yeah.
Chair. So
I
you've
knew
got a lot
what
of
the
meetings
18th
in your
was.
calendar. Yeah.
But every team's, it's Christmas, isn't it? Every team's to cram a month's worth into 2 weeks. So Jane
Before
will
we-
go Christmas shopping, isn't it, Jane?
Before we close, Chair, can I just to pick up one more thing from that last item, is just to give committee the assurances that we have a statutory obligation to publish this by the 1st of December. So now we've had approval today from committee. We'll make sure that happens and we meet our statutory requirements in terms of annual report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay then, thank you very much. Arwell, did you want to just meet? You said something about have a word with me and Chris.
Well, yeah, if you could both can stay online after, that'd be great.
Is that all right, Chris?
That's fine.
Lovely. Thank you very much, everybody.
Fine.
Good to see you. See you
Thanks,
next
everybody.
week.
Thank you.
Well,